if you show me how you spend your time and how you spend your money, tell you exactly what your value system is.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it doesn't lie. It is what it is. Can't cover it up. And a lot of us have our, we try to fool others and say, hey, we carry on such and so a value system. But the scary part is sometimes we fool ourselves, Rebecca. I think sometimes as human beings, this is a human issue, not necessarily a fathering issue, that we fool ourselves and we tell ourselves, hey, I'm really good at X, or I got that covered. When in reality, perhaps we don't. Perhaps we're terrible or lacking severely in what we think is covered or we do well, and we truly don't. And those are the wake-up calls, the reality checks moment where you go, hey, wow, I'm really not that good at this. And it's that moment and how you respond to that, if you're quick to make change and to own it, or if you're quick to make excuses and excuse and accuse and walk away, those are the defining moments of parenting, and I would propose to life in general.
Very good points. Very good points. Will you give us some points on real communication with kids?
Some examples?
Yeah.
It's three things. And Dr. Ross Campbell talks about this. Focused attention, where you make that kid or that moment everything, your total focus. You're not distracted by the TV or a watch or the computer or Facebook or whatever. Number two is you have appropriate touch. What I mean by that is you're not afraid to give that kid a hug. In our house we're huggers. I don't hesitate at all. Hug everybody. Nothing wrong with that when it's appropriate. Number three is focused eye contact. I'm looking at you, not making it weird or do a stare down, but I look at my kids when I talk to them. I get eye contact so that our souls are connected when we're communicating. So we stop, look, listen, and touch, and have that focused attention that Ross Campbell talks about in his book. And I talk about it as well in The Everyday Dad, The Guide to Becoming a Better Father, in my book. Did I say that was available on Amazon.com? Did I mention that?
Yes, and that's good because I was going to ask you to leave a contact number, and you've done well.
Yeah, that's Everyday Dad. That's 3 words, Everyday Dad, and that's on Amazon. The reviews are there. You can order it today, and they can ship you one out tonight. The bottom line is probably not a better way to get a lot of really good practical tips, quick relief tips and tools and techniques that you can use as a parent, dad or mom, anytime, anywhere, any day with any kid. And the bottom line is a lot of women buy this for their spouses because there's 79 ways to love your wife better. And that's a real big section in there. It's a goal-setting tool right in the book you can use. And so there's a lot of useful information, about 400 pages. And if you want to preview it, you can go onto Amazon and thumb through it or read a little bit more at everydaydad.com. And did I tell you my blog site is becomeabetterfather.com?
We sure appreciate that. That's good.
Yeah, becomeabetterfather.com. That's also the name of my YouTube channel, Become a Better Father.
So our audience has a lot of accesses to reach you.
Easy to find, or just Google Scott Hammond, that is my name, or Become a Better Father. You can Google that, it'll go right to the website.
I wanted to reach out here a little bit on the communication. You mentioned touch and focus. The emotional setup of an environment between two people or in a household, the feeling, the literal feeling, how they feel in that position, place, counts so much. Please explain that to our listening audience.
I think where you're going with that, and I agree, is that a marriage sets the culture for the house. I think a good marriage or a poor marriage or poor communication or marital habits or marital practice, good or bad, will set the culture for all manner of things. It's the foundation. If there's a foundation of love and good communication and honor and care for one another, that's everything. But if you got a home that's in discord and fighting and all manner of snarkiness and anger and frustration and yelling and violence of whatever sort, you're going to set a really shaky foundation up for your kids that kids are tough, and they often overcome that stuff. However, sometimes not. Sometimes kids really suffer through that, especially kids that are real sensitive kids. And some kids, there's always one or two that they're extra sensitive to words, to yelling, to bad vibes in a house. I mean, they pick up on that stuff. And I think it's kids like that really suffer. And there's other kids, too, that maybe don't show that they suffer, but they'll act out in other ways because they've absorbed a poor family culture, and they don't even understand why they grew up angry or internalize that stuff, and they never do really process that, perhaps till they're adults, maybe not even then.
When it feels negative, it does not feel like love and acceptance.
Right. And you know what? There's no fake in that. You either got it or you don't. Again, show me the money. Make sure that your culture is good in your family with your spouse, that there is love in that family, there is appropriate touch, appropriate focus, that we really do value one another. And you know what? It's unconditional love. And, I'd love to talk about where you go get that. You can't buy that at Costco or Walgreens. You've got to develop that, and that takes time.
It also takes a dedication that you really care about with your priorities in the right place.
Absolutely, yeah. Love for family, love for God, love for people. Absolutely. You
and Joanie are sort of known as the poster parents around here in Humboldt County. We really admire you. Everybody admires and loves you. 9 kids, 2 special needs kids, reaching out to others, helping the community, teaching parents how to be with their children. You two both deserve some sort of big blue ribbon, and I want you to know that this public admires you.
That's awful kind of you. As soon as I get up on that pedestal, I'm going to fall really hard because everyday dad has everything to do with the fact that I'm very connected to my humanity and the fact that every day I fail as a father and as a person, some small or large way, and the fact is there is grace, there is forgiveness, there is the ability to keep moving on and to make things right and to and not to cover up, but to be real and honest when there's failures and to keep moving on and be what I call a good repenter. It takes, to make stuff right. It's okay to tell your kids, hey, I'm really sorry, I blew it. I had to do that this morning. I had to eat a little crow with my 9-year-old. I said, I got real mad last night and I'm really asking you to forgive me. Would you forgive me, Aaron? And he said, of course. So it's important that we're real and that we're humane and we're human in front of especially our family, but outside of that in our community. Lord knows we all need grace.
Too many of our advertisements teach us to love and admire perfection. Mm-hmm. And we forget as a populace that mm-hmm. without unconditional love, we'll never make it because none of us are perfect.
That's right.
And the basis that makes you guys, you and Joanie, absolutely marvelous is here you are, parents of 9 children, 2 special needs kids, standing out and saying, learn, understand, and feel unconditional love. It is rewarding.
Yeah, I hope so. And I just, it's a one day at a time deal, and just hopefully that grace prevails in our lives. And that brings up a point, at some point we all are faced with forgiving ourselves, because there's a point in which I think a lot of us carry around a lot of self-loathing for different reasons in our past or our present, or just, things haven't worked out, we're not who we wanted to be. And I think there's a point where we need to have grace on ourselves, and sometimes it starts there, to forgive myself so I can move on and really forgive and love others.
I think it has to start there, because if you can't forgive yourself, how can you give forgiveness to someone else? You have to have it to give.
Or receive forgiveness, yeah.
You have to have it to give, and you have to have love to give it.
That's right, I agree with that.
So it starts with you, with each one of us. It starts with us, the individual.
That is correct, I believe that.
I have really enjoyed having you on this program. I think that you are a great incentive and a very good direction for all parents. I hope that they will tune in and buy your book. And Scott, we look forward to having you back next time on your business subjects. But you're such a multi-talented man that we do have to divide it up. thank you, Scott, very much for being with us today. We are truly honored. Scott Hammond. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you, Rebecca. Did I mention my website is becomeabetterfather.com? Or it's everydaydad.com. And furthermore, you can pick up that book, Everyday Dad, at Amazon.com or go to createspace.com, either which one of those sites you buy the book. And it's been a pleasure, and I'm very honored that you had me today.
Thank you so much. We'll see you again, Scott.
Thanks, Rebecca. Have a great day.